Hello everyone, I'm Dan, and today I'm going to show you how to make a wearable Reze Bomb Devil helmet from the Chainsaw Man movie. Let's get into it. This was modeled by my good buddy Kev at Vec3D on Instagram. He cranks out ridiculous models and they're all up on our website Wireframe. That's wf3d.shop if you guys want to grab anything. Kev had been bullying me for months to watch Chainsaw Man, and I finally caved. So yes, I watched it, with Kev, alone, on Discord. Very romantic. And for the release of the Chainsaw Man movie, Kev went and modeled this absolutely gorgeous, fully wearable Reze helmet. I threw all the parts into my Creality slicer and printed it on my Creality K2 using Polymaker PLA filament. All of the parts for Reze's helmet have been 3D printed, and the next step is to sand. I do need to use my Dremel to grind some of the overhangs on the fronts of the teeth as well, just because that's where the top of the layer lines are. All in all, these look incredible. Kev made 3 different versions of the faceplate, I guess. So I went ahead and printed them, and they're magnetic so I can swap them out if I want. Let's start with 80 grit sandpaper. I used my Dremel to knock down any large seams or flat layer lines from 3D printing. I started with 80 grit sandpaper on my orbital sander and worked my way up to 150 grit to sand all the parts. I also hand sanded using the same grit in hard to reach areas. I'm going to go ahead and glue the back fins onto the back, just so it can all be one piece and I don't have to deal with anything. I also had to use my soldering iron to manually poke each hole in the faceplate to make them circular. All of the parts are now sanded, mounted, and ready for some filler primer. I'm going to be using the wonderful Duplicolor filler primer, and I'm going to do a good coat on all of them. I did not record myself putting the Bondo spot putty on here because it's getting cold outside and my camera was inside and I was already out here, so I just decided to do it. I just used Bondo spot putty and then I put very thin layers on all the problem areas. The tree support's messed up on here. There's a lot of little dings and stuff. I'm gonna go get my respirator and then I'm going to hand sand all of this to 220 grit and then we can put black primer on it. Ladies and gentlemen, the black primer is dry on all the pieces. I've been going back and forth with Kev about how to actually paint it. I wasn't sure if I should do like a 2K clear coat and make it shiny or leave it matte. I'm really liking how this looks. So now I just need to wet sand everything and then I can do a nice coat of flat black and then airbrush everything. I've wiped all the pieces down with isopropyl alcohol. Now that the pieces are dry, I'm going to go ahead and put on the final coat of Rust-Oleum flat black primer. The flat black coat is now dry, and I'm going to be using this matte clear coat on all the parts. I'm actually kind of interested to see how this is going to turn out. The matte clear coat on this has dried and it looks so cool. It's not glossy, but it kind of just gives that like painted metal bomb look. I love it. The teeth are white, but I don't want the entire thing to just be black. So I'm going to be airbrushing some darker areas and then also highlights around it. Also, I'm terrified of this thing. It is so sharp. Airbrush time. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm kind of just gonna go with it. I mixed together white and black airbrush paint to make a dark gray that I could use to highlight the edges and areas around the mouth. I went back with a darker, almost black gray airbrush paint to make the cracks and crevices even darker. I then taped off the entire helmet except for the teeth to airbrush them white. Once it dried, I used more dark gray to darken the edges of the teeth to add depth. After taking the tape off, I also sprayed the edges of it with a black as well, just to make it cohesive.
Yeah, bitch! Magnets! Oh!
The model uses 10x5mm bar magnets, and I used regular super glue to attach the bar magnets in position. I also attached the clasps on the side of the helmet using super glue. So here's the Bomb Devil helmet. I love this thing. I think it looks so cool. The last thing I have to do is just bloody up the teeth and maybe add a little bit more weathering, but I kind of want to test fit it. These damn ears. I'll see you on the other side. I can't see shit. The final step for this helmet is to add the blood on the teeth. I hand painted the bloody teeth using red airbrush paint. I started off with a bright red, however I had to use multiple coats to give it that dried blood look. This is what the final blood looks like. I added some dripping down the edges and a little bit more kind of on the cheeks area. I also did some blood splatter with a toothbrush. I added some highlights and then went back with some darker red blood to look like it's dried. I think the blood looks really, really cool. And just like that, the helmet is done. Let's go ahead and do a test fit.
I can't see anything, but
If I swap the faceplate, now I can see everything. It's actually really good visibility. Nice.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you do want to see me build something, let me know in the comments below. But other than that, all of the links will be in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one.